And now, from the Florida Today Information Center, this is the Florida Today Show.
The sky's the limit. Tapping popular interest in space exploration and science fiction, space startups are increasingly seeking funding from a new source, you. Rockets were sent soaring in Palm Bay last weekend. And have you got what it takes to take a wild ride with Optimus Prime? Hello, Space Coast, and welcome to the Florida Today Show. I'm Christina LaFortune. Today is Sunday, June 23rd. The news never stops, so let's get started. Through crowdfunding campaigns and other donations, companies and foundations are offering the public, yes, you included, the chance to take pictures from space, develop a space elevator, and even save the world from a cataclysmic asteroid strike. Here's space reporter James Dean to tell us what's up.
Think it would be cool to have a picture of yourself in space, to control a satellite with your smartphone, or help launch a telescope that can find Earth-threatening asteroids? Space startups increasingly are asking you to help get projects like these off the ground. Planetary Resources has raised nearly $1 million on Kickstarter, a crowdfunding site, to fly the first publicly operated space telescope. For $25, the small telescope would take a picture of your uploaded image in space, a so-called space selfie. Donations up to $10,000 would donate telescope time for research. Supporters say such crowdfunding campaigns democratize participation in space. But not all of them click with the public. Golden Spike, which wants to fly crews to the moon commercially, raised a fraction of the $240,000 it sought on Indiegogo, another crowdfunding site. And even $1 million crowdfunding success wouldn't be enough to launch some ambitious projects. The B612 Foundation needs $450 million to fly Sentinel, a space observatory that could detect 1 million asteroids. The nonprofit needs lots of big donations, but also welcomes gifts as small as $25. After all, every little bit could help save humanity. For Florida Today, I'm James Dean.
There was a rocket launch last weekend, several launches in fact. Nope, these didn't blast off from KSC or Canaveral Air Station, but from a remote field in Palm Bay. They were model rockets, so certainly were not manned flights. But if you ever wondered if a 4.5-foot model rocket could break the sound barrier, wonder no more. Cadets from the Titusville Civil Air Patrol ignited the rocket's engine about noon Saturday at the Spaceport Rocketry Association's launch site in southwestern Palm Bay. The mission was a success, as the rocket exceeded Mach 1. Here's what it looked like, but be warned, if you blink, you might miss it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice quick boost.
Today we're attempting a supersonic flight of a squadron-built rocket. The cadets in the Tycho's Composite Squadron built this rocket that we're attempting to fly supersonic today. It has had one subsonic test flight, which was completely successful, so we have very good confidence that we will have a successful supersonic flight.
It's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of little other rockets that have gone on today. That's got to kind of build up the excitement, right?
Absolutely. This is a monthly event for the Spaceport Rocketry Association. We're out here in the Palm Bay compound area, and this club flies every month.
2, 1.
Well, today what we're doing is we're launching model rocketry. Low power, high power. We've got a clearance up to 10,000 feet. It's a FAA waiver that we can use to launch as high as we want to go, up to 10,000 feet. Generally anything over 3,000, 5,000, we have to call down to Miami and get a clearance to be able to launch it. The smaller rockets, which are the little tiny guys and the regular Estes ones that everybody's familiar with.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We launch those also, and we support the Boy Scouts groups and everything else.
It's got to be a lot of fun too, right?
Oh, it's a blast. No pun intended.
Speaking of fast-moving machines, Universal Studios in Orlando opened the much-anticipated Transformers ride last week. It was also at this time 3 years ago that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter debuted at Universal Studios. Florida Today's visual editor, Tim Walters, has been a fan of Transformers ever since the adjustable toys were first introduced to the U.S. in 1984. He was then 7 years old. Naturally, he couldn't wait to enter the world of colorful robotic machinery. Here's Tim with his review of the new 3D experience.
This is Tim Walters reporting for Florida Today, and I am at Universal Studios outside the new Transformers The Ride 3D, which is now officially open to the public. We're about to go inside and check out the ride and find out if I have what it takes to protect the Allspark. We've ridden the ride, and the Autobots have saved the day. The Allspark is safe, and we made it out all right. It's an amazing ride. The 3D and the graphics are fantastic. It's fun for anyone from ages 8 to 80. And now, I have to go thank Optimus Prime for helping to save my life. We'll see you soon.
Tim notes that Universal Creative worked closely with Transformers director Michael Bay to create a true-to-the-movie ride.
This is Tim Walters reporting for Florida Today, and I am at Universal Studios on the opening day of Transformers The Ride 3D. Behind me, you can see Bumblebee, who's come out to help us save the Allspark against Megatron and the evil Decepticons. Today, on the red carpet, we've seen Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, Frank Welker, the voice of Megatron, and in a surprise appearance, Steven Spielberg showed up and walked the red carpet and got to go in and ride the ride. So we got to go in, and we're going to show you some more sights and sounds from today, the opening day of Transformers The Ride 3D.
Today, we take the next step to defeating the Decepticon incursion. Our allies in this battle are none other than the Autobots, and two of its members who I have had the extreme honor of fighting alongside of for many years. They are here today to join you, our newest freedom fighters.
Greetings, Orlando. We can rise above evil and defeat Megatron, but we cannot do it alone. We need your help to defend mankind before it is too late. This ride is awesome, and the reason it is awesome is because I have more dialogue than Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime. Why? Because I am in control. I scare you, and I have the responsibility of making sure everyone is entertained.
My brother Larry was a Marine, and I modeled Optimus Prime after my brother, former Marine, Captain Larry Cullen, K-35.
People of Earth, you have shown great bravery today. It is our honor to be at your side. Please join us as we open this new facility. Train well, freedom fighters. Autobots, transform and roll out.
The ride is located near the park's Shrek attraction. And if you can't make it to the park soon, Titusville Playhouse is presenting Shrek the Musical. How's that for a segue? We recently visited a rehearsal to see how the show was coming together.
It's time to stand up tall, say, hey, well, I'm different, and here I am.
This is a musical version of the popular movie Shrek, and it contains all those lovable fairy tale creatures, as well as our green ogres and princesses and evil villains. So it's actually a pretty faithful rendition of what the movie was on stage, and adding a fantastic score. It has a lot of rock influences, folk music influences, and then some more traditional Broadway fare as well. We have a cast of 47, I believe, 45 students who are working on this show, and they are singing, dancing, and acting their tails off, as it were, some of them literally. I would scare the tower to save a hot house lover. Fairy tales the story of Shrek the Ogre, and all that Shrek wants is to be left alone in his swamp, and of course the evil Lord Farquaad, who's trying to homogenize the population and make everything perfect, kicks all of the, what he calls freakish characters out of his land and resettles them on the swamp. So there's a lot of symbolism there for, refugees being kicked out of their homes, very pertinent to today. And they all invade Shrek's swamp and say, well, we've been stuck here. So in order to get them off of his land, Shrek takes up a quest to go find a princess for the evil lord to marry. So he goes and saves Princess Fiona from a dragon-guarded tower.
Like all kinds of stuff for you. Fish eye tartar, fish eye soup, you name it.
And the two of them find that they have a lot in common. They've both been sort of lonely for their entire lives and looking for someone to understand them and fit in. And finally, when they find each other, they do go through the usual love story of flirting, arguing, and finally realizing that they are each other's true loves. And it is a fairy tale come true, happily ever after with a twist. So there you go.
Shrek's been a fun role because there's a lot of stuff I find in him and me, so I can relate to the character, and it's also good to have a challenge with the singing and the character of being rude and mean.
Look for an upcoming story in Florida Today by R. Norman Moody about a soldier who's adjusting to civilian life after being wounded in Afghanistan. Here's visual journalist Caroline Perez to tell us more.
Thomas Trotter is starting a new life as a civilian after being wounded in the war in Afghanistan.
I was paying rent, but I was going like paycheck to paycheck, It was a struggle. I was living with a friend for a while, actually, for the first couple months, and then I finally got my own place, so my daughters can have their own room. And it was rough trying to get a job. It's a lot harder than people think.
Trotter received a new house through the Military Warrior Support Foundation.
Yeah, I moved in May 6th, so.
What do you think?
It's crazy. It's like winning the lottery. So it's good. Definitely helps because transition out of the military is like the hardest thing ever.
Grasshopper Mowers, comedian Jeff Foxworthy, and Military Warrior Support Foundation donated a brand new mower to a military veteran. And Trotter was the lucky recipient.
I guess I was, one of the few guys from Florida maybe, and they just know that Florida's, known for its landscaping companies and stuff.
Trotter just completed a seminar on entrepreneurship at Florida State University. And what's next? Trotter's future plans include opening a landscaping business.
I kind of wanted to open up my own small business, and I figured, landscaping business is an easy start. It's, a low startup, and so yeah, I've been wanting to do it, but I didn't really want to take out a loan for something like that. But winning that thing, I was just like, I'll see, it was meant to be, I guess. So.
In education news, students are being assured that they can take college courses while in high school. Here's education reporter Mackenzie Ryan with the latest on Brevard Community College, soon to be Eastern Florida State College's dual enrollment program.
A preliminary deal between Brevard Public Schools and Brevard Community College should ensure that high school students can continue to take college courses. The dual enrollment program allows ambitious students to earn an associate's degree by the time they graduate high school. Others earn vocational certificates or college credits. The program is free for students, but not school districts. A new state law is requiring districts to pay tuition. Last year, 3,500 students took BCC classes, and that's an expensive bill, about $3.4 million. It sparked concern about how Brevard schools will pay for the program. Already, a $30 million budget crisis is forcing job cuts and school closures. The solution is an agreement that may be finalized soon. For the first year, half of the tuition would be returned in the form of a one-time grant. In future years, both institutions will work together to cut costs. That could include increasing the number of college classes offered at high schools. The law only requires districts to pay tuition for classes taught by college faculty on college campuses. Classes may also be taught by certified high school teachers. In other news, BCC is making a number of changes, including a new name. Starting July 1st, the institution will be called Eastern Florida State College. It reflects its new mission to offer bachelor's degrees. The program is starting this fall in business management and healthcare management. You'll see the transition on campus and around the community. Signs are being changed out, and a college ad campaign is starting soon. Leaders hope that Eastern Florida will become a household name. The college will continue offering associate's degrees and vocational programs. Additional bachelor degree programs will be rolled out in the years to come. Reporting for Florida Today, I'm Mackenzie Ryan.
A local private school is offering specialized programs to help meet individual needs of students with disabilities. We recently stopped by to see how the school promises no limits in learning for children.
Green, how many balls can count?
This is our summer camp for No Limits Academy. No Limits Academy is a school for physically disabled students. We do grades K through 12, and they're based on different academic levels. So we have different classrooms for each level. And during the summer, we also offer the parents a 3-week summer program so that it kind of offsets the burden of them they can't find traditional daycare or, somewhere for their child to be. So we do a 3-week program in the summer and provide all kinds of neat things for them to do.
I started this type of therapy when I was what? 7. With me working with this specific mode of doing physical therapy got me to walk for the first time without a walker or without canes, and I've made great strides in my own physical mobility and my own physical strength with this therapy, the kind that you would not see with normal, traditional methods of physical therapy. So it's helped me, and it's helped Matthew, and it's helped the other kids that have come through here greatly.
Ability Plus Therapy was brought forward because of Shane's disability. He has cerebral palsy, and when he was a child, I was looking for something that would create mobility for him and independence and a future. And we founded Ability Plus Therapy in 2004, and now we see hundreds of children from all over the world.
All I can say about it is yes, intensive therapy is a lot of work. You will be dog tired afterwards, but the results are well worth it.
Last week also saw the dedication of the Space Coast Center for Mothers with Children. The Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber of Commerce hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony on the grounds formerly home to Resurrection Ranch in Melbourne. Let's take a look.
This is Space Coast Center for Mothers with Children. We offer a comprehensive 2-year program for homeless mothers and their children. And a huge part of our program is the mental health counseling. These children come here and they're very traumatized from living homeless as well as their mothers. And Zachary has helped us create an incredible space that will help these families heal and give the counselors the space they need to help more families. Well, today we're here to honor Zachary Industrial, the company who has been helping us rehab some of our buildings here. They've been helping us for over 18 months. And this is going to be our new space for counseling and play therapy for our children and tutoring, and also a future space for a resident advisor.
Many times what we're doing is we're going and doing a ribbon cutting for a new business. What they're doing is they're dedicating a new facility, or they're kind of reopening it up, and it really gives us the opportunity to see an incredible organization and what they're doing, because you can hear about it, but until you really see it, it makes a huge difference.
Now it's time for a look at local sports. Well, school may be out for the summer, but that doesn't mean there's not plenty of behind-the-scenes action in the way of high school sports. Here's high school sports prep reporter Brian McCallum with more.
Well, if you check the fields of Brevard County high school sports, you'll see that not much is going on outside, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening that will affect high school sports in Brevard County. In fact, the FHSAA is going through reclassification right now up in Gainesville with a little help from their friends in Brevard County, and some interesting changes coming that will affect sports over the next 2 years. Let's take a look at what's going to be happening in basketball, baseball, and softball, for example. There are some district alignments that are going to provide some pretty interesting competition. If you look at Class 7A, it'll be District 12, a 4-team district, Martin County, Melbourne, Sebastian River, and Viera. Think about that as a girls' basketball district. Viera and Sebastian River have been regular combatants in the playoffs in recent years, so that's going to be an interesting basketball district. Melbourne, of course, has had some good girls' basketball teams in recent years, too. But then think about baseball. Melbourne and Viera have been the two best, arguably two of the best baseball teams in Brevard County. They're going to be in the same district now for baseball, so that'll be interesting to watch. Melbourne softball team has been improving rapidly, and Viera has been the Cape Coast Conference champs this year, and they'll be in the same district, so we'll watch that too. If you look at Class 5A, here's an interesting scenario in that the teams from the northern part of the county, Titusville, Rockledge, and Merritt Island and Satellite, Central also, are going to be split from Bayside and Palm Bay, who will be in a southern district. That'll be District 14 for the 4 northern teams, District 15 for Bayside and Palm Bay, who will team up with Suncoast, which is out of Riviera Beach, way down in West Palm Beach. Now, people are going to say, why are these two districts? Why couldn't there be one district? It's a good question, but I know the FHSAA is probably going to talk about travel. 149 miles from Titusville to Riviera Beach. On the other hand, it's still 107 miles from Bayside High down to Riviera Beach, so I don't know that they're saving a whole lot of travel with that. And you're talking about 4 playoff teams as opposed to 2 out of that group of 7. One more district, let's take a look at Class 6A District 7, East River, O'Galley, Edgewater, Heritage. This will be interesting for softball. O'Galley's our powerhouse from this county, although they were down this year. Heritage is an up-and-coming team. Edgewater was a team that O'Galley played in the playoffs and beat this year. But think about basketball. Boys basketball, Edgewater and Heritage. Heritage, upcoming program, our own Erica Sola went and saw Heritage play at Edgewater in the playoffs and nearly beat them. But Edgewater's been to the last 2 regional finals for boys basketball. Now Heritage is going to have to beat them just to win a district title. If you think that's tough, the Heritage girls are going to be in a district with the team that won the last 2 girls state championships, the Edgewater girls. So some interesting scenarios coming out of this. None of this is final. This can be proposed. This is proposed right now. They can appeal through Tuesday. So stay tuned to Florida Today. We'll be following this online and in the pages of the paper. Until next time, we'll see you at 321 Preps online.
And now let's check in with Luann Manderville, who's going to tell us about a furry 4-legged friend available for adoption.
Joining me is Nancy Malore with Perfect Friends, and we have some perfect kitties here. Tell me all about them.
No pun intended there. These 2, I had to bring 2 this time. That's Tom that you have, and this is Jerry, and they are Maine Coons. He's purring right now. I don't know if Tom is, but they are Maine Coon mixes. You know, I don't know who their parents were, so you can tell that they're definitely have Maine Coon in them. But look at this color. I just don't know. He's a brown tabby, but he's not brown. He's like chocolate, mocha. Not sure what color to call him.
Very unique.
Very unique. And then he is a gray tabby. And they are between 10 and 11 weeks old.
Okay.
And looking at them, you would think they're brothers, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think so.
But I got them out of, rescued them out of the South Animal Care Center in Melbourne. And they are not brothers. They came in, you know, they were in different cages, but actually the shelter employees pointed them out, and I said, oh, let me take these guys. So they've been combo tested, they've been dewormed, like we always do. Vaccinated, and then Tom he was just recently neutered, and Jerry needs to be neutered before they can go home. But they would probably do well in most any home. Now, I haven't exposed them to dogs. They're good with other cats. But look, you can just, let's see if we can
Oh my
him,
goodness.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm not sure if I want.
And-
Maybe not in the studio.
And I'm not sure if people on camera can see, but he's not white. He's almost cream underneath.
Yeah, very, very,
Very unique.
A lot of people say, how do you know they're Maine Coon? Well, you know because of the fur and the ear tufts, and then if you look at their tail, like if you do the back end of him, see how his tail is fuller. It's medium hair. It's hard to tell at this age if they'll be medium or long hair, but that's the definition of a Maine Coon. And then their fur is always soft, and then they actually have little fur between their paw pads as well. And when they're Maine Coons, they don't have to have all those characteristics, but these guys do. So I don't know where they came from. I don't know what their story is, but they're not brothers, but they're going to find a good home, and we would like to adopt them together.
I
because
kind of think it's great, Tom and
well,
Jerry.
Well, Tom and Jerry, you have to take both.
Yes.
And we do have them on our website, and we have other kitties. There's lots of kitties in the shelter. So.
And this is kitty season?
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, yes. June is Adopt a Cat Month because there's so many kitties in there. And I was at the shelter. We got some out of the isolation room that have a kitty cold, actually today. And there's lots and lots of kitties. So I encourage people not only to spay and neuter your pets so we don't have so many unwanted kittens, but to go to the shelter or rescue group, you know, if you're in need of a feline friend, because look what they have at the shelter.
Fantastic.
I
Now,
mean,
they're beautiful, they're healthy, they're ready
Yes.
to go. If they go as a pair, I mean, how much is it
well,
gonna cost?
it's $85. We do everything to them except for rabies because they have to be older than they
Right.
are now. You know,
Right.
they have to be 4 months or 16 weeks
Okay.
before you can give them rabies. But it's $85 for adoption fee, but we encourage people to adopt two because they need a fur buddy. And so instead of $170, we charge $150, and that includes everything. We give them, like I said, besides the rabies, and we also give them the medical record, and I go over that with them so they know what's been done to them. We have a sleepy kitty here.
Well, this is
A
the
very
time of day for them
sleepy-
to be a little
It
sleepy.
is, a little cat nap.
Well, I hope Tom and Jerry find a forever home very soon.
Together. Here, we
Together.
have to hold them together. Find a home
Brothers.
for us. Brothers forever.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you.
I'm Luann Manderville for Florida Today.
Well, that wraps up another show. I'm Christina LaFortune, inviting you to tune in next week for all the latest headlines in news, space, sports, and so much more. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see ya.